You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry, no show. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to educate you about narcissism in its many guises, the impact it has upon people, the way that people are affected by it. I utilise a range of different sources. As always, I leave it up to you to make a determination about the veracity of the information. I provide you with the relevant analysis. The coronation looms. Harry's wife is not attending. Harry says that he is. However, there is speculation that he may not turn up. How likely is this? Well, it is a risk. Here's why. He remains very much under the control of his handler. There are two main ways that Harry's wife controls Harry with regard to his interactions with his family. The first is to use manipulations that are between him and her. So, for instance, dropping to the floor sobbing so that he feels sympathetic towards her. Putting him on a guilt trip with regard to the fact that he's going to go away and be away from his family and on his son's 4th birthday. Doling out pity plays to cause Harry to feel sorry for her shouldering the burden, or the fact that she doesn't feel that she can attend and really he ought to show solidarity with her. Promised gain. If you stay, I'll make it worth your while. Wink, wink, spicy poontang, you can come out of the chicken coop. Accordingly, there are lots of different manipulations that Harry's wife can use as between her and Harry. That's the first limb of her control over him. The second is in relation to actions vis-à-vis the royal family. For instance, smearing them and saying to Harry, I don't understand why you want to go and support people that have only ever caused trouble for you and also for us. I don't think you're thinking clearly about this. You don't owe them any loyalty, Harry, after the way that they've treated you. Remember, they killed your mum. They didn't support you properly afterwards. They didn't support us. We said that we would continue to carry out a royal role without public funding, and they threw that in our face, forcing us, Harry, to flee overseas to Canada and to California. And look where they've left us, isolated, cut off, repeatedly criticising us as we just attempt to live our own truth and forge our own path through life. And yet you're going to go to them after everything that they've done. I appreciate your loyalty, Harry, and I know that it's your father, but look, you know what happened between me and my father, and I've cut him out of my life. My life is so much better without him being in it. You need to do the same. They don't care about you, Harry. They don't truly. And of course, he will get this diet of propaganda about his family from Harry's wife, possibly on a daily basis. Thus, on the one hand, she controls him with regard to the interaction between him and her, and on the other hand, he is controlled rather by her as a consequence of what she has to say about his family. A daily diet of this form of manipulation starts to take its toll. And those of you listening to me who have had an involvement with a narcissist will be able to recount the occasions where, in the end, you just gave in. You had perhaps organised that you were going to go out. Perhaps you were going to go and see family for a few days. You'd organised a trip away with your friends. And you were subjected to the pity plays, the criticisms, the guilt trips, the emotional blackmail, perhaps even violence, with regard to your decision to, go and do something for yourself. The outcome of this, it was just easier not to go than continue to face the barrage of insults and assaults. Furthermore, the narcissist rewarded you with the fact that you weren't going. Of course, all you succeeded in doing was falling deeper into the entanglement, letting the narcissist know that the manipulations worked. Whether that's an aware narcissist or they became aware, or they had that knowledge subconsciously as an unaware narcissist. The fact is, your compliance signaled to the narcissist that not only were you under control in that moment, But it also told the narcissist that this was one of the ways to get you under control, by attrition, to wear you down, that in the end you thought the price paid for that weekend of freedom or that night out simply wasn't worth it, and you gave in, you didn't go. This is a similar risk factor for Harry. Notwithstanding the fact that this is a once-in-a-lifetime event, notwithstanding the fact that he's a prince of the realm, notwithstanding the fact that this is his father, there remains a risk that he will not go because of the way that he is manipulated by his wife and his own emotional thinking. The Daily Mail, with an article by Glenn Owen, tells us it's easier to talk to Sinn Féin than Prince Harry. With just days to go, coronation organisers say they are in the dark over the Duke's plans. Coronation organisers are stressed about Prince Harry's plans for Saturday, complaining that establishing them is like trying to communicate with Mars. Insiders told the Mail on Sunday that they were still seeking confirmation of when he is coming, where he is staying, when he is going back, and whether he is happy with his seating position in the Abbey. Some are even suspicious that he might still pull out at the last minute. The organisers were operating on the basis of a Harry in a hurry appearance by the Prince, that he would pay a lightning visit without his wife, Harry's wife, which was confirmed to be the case earlier this month. The Duchess of Sussex will remain in America on Coronation Day, where she will celebrate the 4th birthday of their son Archie. But sources say they have been told so little about Harry's plans that anything could happen, ranging from a token appearance to a last-minute no-show. This, of course, is demonstrative, pausing there, of the way that he behaves in an ill-mannered way as a consequence of the influence of his wife. Again, those of you who've been caught with a narcissist will recognise a scenario where you were trying to balance perhaps doing a job with keeping the narcissist happy, that you wanted to maintain contact with your friends, but doing that whilst keeping a narcissist happy proved difficult. It meant often you cancelled at the last minute, or you weren't able to tell people until the last minute whether you'd actually be able to come or not, or that you would be coming out for a shorter time period. Many will think, fuck them, fuck the narcissist, do what you want. But those of you who have been involved in our grip will understand how difficult that is to actually do. Returning to the article, one source said, he has not been responding other than in a we acknowledge your email holding manner. It's like trying to communicate with Mars. It was easier to do with Sinn Féin. A row erupted last week after Michelle O'Neill, Sinn Féin's vice president and leader in Northern Ireland, accepted an invitation to the coronation. Last week, Harry continued his battle with the British press when he claimed that the late Queen and King Charles had been complicit in a cover-up of phone hacking by making an agreement with the publisher of The Sun and the News of the World. But the High Court judge hearing the case, Mr. Justice Fancourt, said there appeared to be factual inconsistencies in Harry's legal claim about allegedly being a victim of hacking. The coronation source added, Harry seems to be adopting a high-noon approach, making everyone sweat about his movements. While the royals are confident that he will show up, others involved are not quite so convinced. The working assumption now is that assuming he does come, it could mean arriving as late as very early Saturday by private jet, so much for the eco-warrior credentials, and leaving by late afternoon the same day. The Duke of Sussex's representatives did not respond to a request for comment. Accordingly, Harry's proving difficult to communicate with. He's being awkward as a consequence of being stuck between that rock and a hard place. And, once again, his poor behaviour comes out, influenced, of course, by his wife. He does have within his character makeup sides to him that are unpleasant, and they're brought to the fore as a consequence of the way that she manipulates him. It remains also a risk that he simply may not show up, a consequence of the hold that the narcissist has over him. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.